Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one and done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Where is Daredevil?
I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
I'm gonna take this city back.
Over medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
Hello for another week, Two Crime Besties. Thanks for joining us again. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. How are you, Meg?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm doing all right. Yeah,
We'll get through this.
Yeah. We're on part 2 of 2 of the Murdaugh murders. My God, this story is crazy, as we said last week. I think we said the word batshit crazy last week a few times.
Yeah.
And it actually really is.
I think this week particularly, like, we're getting into real deep of it, of the Murdaugh family and it all unravelling, I guess. Or not all of it. I shouldn't say that.
No,
I shouldn't say
think,
all of it.
yeah.
That, you know, parts of it are unravelling for them and that it becoming a little bit more, more insane.
I was talking to my dad during the week and he didn't know anything of this, which is pretty typical for him. And he's like, I just actually can't even fathom what's coming next. And I'm like, oh, strap in.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We've had a few comments over the week with a couple of people saying like they knew about this but didn't know all the backstory to it. So it's pretty cool to see that, you know, some people, I thought everyone knew this one in and out. You know, it's kind of a big one, as we were saying last week on Netflix, but there's definitely people who have only heard surface stuff around this.
And I think also the thing with the Netflix documentary, it's pretty comprehensive, but it's certainly not totally, like it's not absolutely everything there is to know.
No, because I have to say there's one, a HBO one.
Yes.
On HBO Max. And I actually found that was more in depth and informative.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other, there's the podcast, Mandy...
It's really good.
Mandy.
Yeah.
She's a really great investigative journalist who sort of broke this a bit more, and she's the one who's in, like, there's the character of her in that drama series.
Yeah. She's amazing though.
She's
so
incredible.
was she like a New York Times journalist or something? Was that
feel
her?
like, yeah.
And yeah, she was, but she covered all the South for the New York Times.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was just on top of everything. She knows every key detail about this case.
Yeah.
And so much so that she actually even got to go with the jury to the house in Moselle and look around, and so she's got a real insight into it. I found her, even her written stuff, really compelling to in terms of research for this week.
Yes,
it was a good one.
Definitely.
Before we get into the case, though, we've obviously got lots of things to talk about. I've actually got a couple of recommendations this week. So I have had a little bit of extra time this week to do a few things, and so it's meant that I was like looking for shows to watch, and I was listening to some different podcasts. And I don't know if I've mentioned this one yet, but Hedley Thomas's new podcast called Sick to Death. It is based on a book that he wrote of the same name, and it's centered, I think this happened around 2010, so it was quite a long time ago, but it's in relation to a doctor up in Queensland. He was an international doctor in Bundaberg. His name is Jayant Patel, and he was actually employed to the Queensland medical system as a surgeon, and it turned out that he actually didn't have the right qualifications. He endangered people's lives. It hasn't come to the podcast hasn't come to its conclusion yet, but what they're saying where I'm up to is that apparently he's implicated in like roughly or more than 20 deaths that were unnecessary for patients. Wow. He left patients sort of maimed. It was a real sort of Australian Dr. Death
stuff.
He's I believe he's Indian, lived and trained in America, and then was he did lots of not great things over there. He wasn't allowed to work in certain states, and then he's come over to Australia to work.
God.
And, he performed surgeries that he wasn't even trained or qualified to do in a hospital that wasn't even accredited to do them.
Holy shit.
It's a real expose as well into the healthcare system.
Yep.
And obviously now off the back of this, and now that it's all come out that there's far more stringent processes, but it really highlights back in the day that, semi-rural Queensland, they were so desperate for surgeons and so desperate for medical care that it kind of just this guy said he was a superstar and they believed him and they felt lucky to have him. So really interesting story. If you want to get into that, it's called Sick to Death. Hedley Thomas is such an amazing investigative reporter. So I always love his stuff.
Yes.
And then the other thing, this just swoon. Okay.
So totally different take here.
Yeah. This one's not crimey at all, really. Love story. The John F. Kennedy and Carolyn Bessette.
I keep seeing it pop up, and I'm like, it's on my list.
Disney Plus.
I think I'm going to have to watch that.
So the first 4 episodes are out so far, and then I think every week they're releasing the final episode. So they dumped 4 episodes first, and now it's weekly till I don't know how many there are.
Yeah, right.
But oh my god,
yes.
Carolyn Bessette. I remember back in she is just all class. She never, I think, in her whole time of being with JFK Jr. She only ever did, I think, maybe one interview.
Yeah.
And so she's sort of like a bit of an
enigma.
No one really knew her, and yet she was such an icon in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love the Kennedys and
it's fascinating.
and all that.
Fascinating.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly fascinating. So highly, from what I've seen, I've watched the 4 episodes that have come out so far, but I highly, highly, highly recommend it.
You have to get on it.
You have to get on it.
Because, you recommended The Pit to me, right? Now, I have only watched 1 episode. I have to admit, I haven't. Okay. I've watched 1 and then I haven't been able to go back to it because
you've had a busy week,
It's been busy. But I have to agree with you about Noah
Wiley.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's got to be the maturity or something of him. He has a completely different air about him to what he had back in the day of ER.
I think his character in ER he was like a bit of a cowboy, but he was also a bit of a cowboy, thought his shit didn't stink. And, he was kind of a bit unlikable in some ways, but then there were obviously endearing things.
I don't know if it's the beard
facial hair
stuff or what, because I don't know.
I don't know if I mentioned this when I told you about The Pit, but there's all these women on TikTok posting thirst videos of Dr. Robbie when he's hand sanitizing. And so he'll go and hand sanitize and they're swooning over the way he uses the hand sanitizer. No, but when you watch it, then you go and watch it and you're like, oh no, that is really fucking sexy.
Okay. Using hand sanitizer.
Oh, just wait until you get into it.
Okay. I love how you just know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I actually will.
I know you will. I know you're going to get into this. So it's just fucking hilarious.
That is
so
brilliant.
funny. But it's also just so. I love the show. We're up to now week to week as well with that. Right. So season 2. Yeah.
It's season 2. Yeah. No, I've watched the first one. I really enjoyed it. Really, I'm like, I want to watch this, but I want to give it my attention.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of going, I'm going to just put that to the side for a moment because it's until I can actually watch an episode with full focus.
Yeah.
And
I was listening to a podcast this week. I think it was Mamma Mia Out Loud, and it might have been last week actually. And they were talking about how TV shows these days, they need to really... If you know a TV show's good, if you watch it without having your phone in your hand.
If I'm not playing something on my phone at the same time, which is so fucking
true. So it's really hard to produce a show these days where the screen that you're watching, as in the show, is your secondary screen. Your primary screen's in front of you, it being your phone or your iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And The Pit for me is one. This Carolyn, the love story, John F. Kennedy, Carolyn Bessette, no phone, 100%.
Right. My only other way around that is by is going to sound so stupid. Maybe outing myself or something. I don't know. But like, if it's got subtitles, and I'm not talking the fact that like they're speaking English, right? But if there's subtitles, I need to read them to be able to hear what they're saying. So I don't know what that is, but it makes it easier to, I don't know, watch.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then, because then you're having to concentrate on reading as well, so you can't look at your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Because-
that's okay. That's fair. I see
The one
that.
that you sent me to watch, one of the Korean ones.
Yep.
And it's not in English. It's in Korean and it's subtitled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There is a dubbed version.
is there? I might have to give that a go because, okay, again, maybe my weird brain, but I convinced myself I speak Korean, I think, because I then don't keep up with the subtitles and go and start focusing too much on listening to what they're saying.
Oh, mate.
And I don't know how to.
And then you're like, hold on, wait, what? What just happened?
I'll be like, scene after scene and kind of go, wait, I actually don't speak Korean. I do need to read the subtitles. And I can't read the English subtitles and hear the Korean. So I focus then on the Korean.
Maybe you need to like turn the volume down so that you're not listening and you're just reading. But that would be
that
weird.
means that I'm reading and then I don't like reading.
Yeah, but you'd be reading anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm reading and listening in Korean.
Got to completely like trick the brain, but obviously, I'm tricking my own brain by convincing myself I speak Korean. Or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad you kind of go, yeah, you understand.
I kind of do get that. I actually kind of do get that.
Okay, cool. I was watching and I'm like, I can't do. I did like I think at least one episode, if not 2 or 3, before I went. Yeah, I'm not getting it because I don't speak Korean.
Oh, I love it.
Oh God.
Oh,
sorry,
mate.
sometimes.
Seriously.
I don't know where my kids get it from.
No, not at all. Not at all. And then do you have any I know you've had a particularly busy week this week, so you probably haven't been really watching or
I don't think I've
didn't
watched
have time for
anything.
anything extra this week.
No, nothing.
Nah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been either like
At
on the
work
computer
or at
doing
home.
like working out fucking videos for the podcast.
Yep.
Or doing work stuff. So I haven't really watched anything other than in the background maths kind of thing that I don't need to concentrate on.
I'm not a maths person. I've never really been
that's
into
not
it.
your thing.
Well, I feel like it probably would be my thing.
I really
if
do
watched
think it would be, but the thing is, it's either you either got to be all in or you're not.
That's
and if
right.
You want to be all in.
Can't.
You can't if you don't have the time for it.
No, I don't normally. But one of my work colleagues is so into it. Actually, a couple of them, and they're always talking about it and about the dinner parties. And
so you feel like you watch.
Well, it sounds batshit
This
fucking
year is
crazy.
fucked.
And then she was saying there's somebody on there like these Trump sympathizers, and I'm like, see, that for me is like, oh, nah.
I feel like that. Yeah, I get to a point with this now where I'm like, they're putting people in danger.
Yeah.
And I'm watching more for the fact of like, I feel like I need to be protective
of
someone.
right.
And I'm not watching because I enjoy the show. I'm like watching it to kind of go, Channel 9 have to fucking stop this. But then I know I'm part of the problem because I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm watching it because I'm like, I can't let this happen.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And the misogyny that comes through when they're talking about it, I'm like,
Oh,
why
it's
are we doing?
gross.
You know what? Okay, this is another thing I watched actually recently, like within the last couple of weeks. I watched the Tyra Banks.
So did I.
Thing
When did I
on
watch
Netflix.
that?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched that
and
just
it's
the other
like
week.
they're basically reviewing what happened on America's
Did you
Next Top
watch
Model.
it
I
when
used to watch
I
America's
watched it?
Next Top
It
Model,
was
and I
toxic
fucking
as when I watched it too.
Yes, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I loved it. And
Yeah.
I was so compelled to watch
Yes.
it. But I remember watching that thinking, oh, fuck, I would never be that thin, or I could never be like that, feeling inadequate watching it, right?
Oh, when they bring out these plus size models
yeah,
and go,
who are
"She's
like skinny as
normal.
anything.
She's normal size.
Yeah, but I would even say like skinny.
Skinny, yeah.
Not even normal size.
Normal skinny, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I'd put it into just normal
not
skinny.
supermodel skinny.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was thinking was, they're now looking back on America's Next Top Model in this with the 2026 lens and going, oh my God, we could never produce a show like that now.
They should
That
have
would
produced
never.
it then.
They
like,
shouldn't have.
It was. I remember back then there was particularly there was the one where they changed their ethnicities.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that, going, you can't
What?
do that.
Yeah, blackface. I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even believe they did that. I feel like we look back on this with a 2026 lens and we see how problematic it was. I know there were aspects of it that we saw as problematic in the 2000s.
In the 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think, we've learned a lot more, we've grown a lot more as a society, and these things are incredibly problematic. And that's, that is what it is.
I think what got me the worst about all of it it was through a time where Tara Banks got shamed on in magazines for wearing a swimsuit. Remember, and she came out on her talk show wearing the exact same swimsuit, and she looked far slimmer than what they printed in the magazine. Like it was all bullshit. Kind of thing of like that. Well, I mean, and she was saying like, who cares if I look like what I look like, but don't make me look like something I'm not for your magazines, kind of thing.
Yeah.
To sell magazines. And then she was, fat shaming women on her own show with this, Next Top Model. That got me even at the time. Like, how could she have not realised she was doing the exact same thing?
I felt like in that Netflix documentary, I felt like she took no responsibility.
No, that's what I mean,
I actually can't stand her.
No, I can't.
Whereas all the other players in the game were all like, "Oh, we should not have said that. We should not have done that. I'm really sorry we did that."
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But then I think about maths, right? Are we gonna in 15, 20 years time, we're gonna look back on that and go, "What the fuck were we doing?" Although we see it now.
It's being called out now.
But why are they producing the show?
Because people watch it.
Exactly.
It's a vicious cycle.
But that's the thing. So as a society, we need to be better and not pay heed to
the thing that I want to see on
bullying,
maths
essentially,
is like these, I put inverted commas, absolutely experts. I want to see them calling it out. I want people to watch maths and learn how to do relationships better. And if, I guess on that show, the experts really called them out. And I mean, there's little bits here and there you get, but not a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
That if they called them out more, that's what I want to see.
Agreed. I mean, not that I watch it, but yes, you're right. That would be a way that this, quote unquote social experiment can actually benefit somebody.
Yes.
As opposed to it just being fodder and drama and damaging to people, and also to the people who are watching. Like, I think if young people are watching these relationships online, like on a show that's glorified, really, do they think that that's what a relationship is? Because no.
I think then that's where I'm like, these people are watching it, that I'd hope that someone could sit and watch this show and kind of go, oh, right, I shouldn't like say that to my girlfriend in the future, or treat my male partner that way, or learn how to like talk to each other and be emotionally intelligent. Like if we can learn those things from the show, okay, put your drama on there, but then do the corrective behaviour with the psychologists, again, inverted commas.
Yeah.
I think they all are trained, but I just it's interesting. I hope it takes more of a turn. If they're going to put these kind of people on there, then actually make them do the work. Because I think it's a bit, I know that we don't see everything in that, how much time they sit on these couches and they talk to the experts. I'm sure that that's a lengthy process of a day of filming, and we only get what they want us to see. But like, we need to see the actual change. Yeah.
Oh, watch this space, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it's a very in-depth conversation about maths, though. It just seems a bit too high level for it.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. All right, let's get into some shout-outs for today.
Shout-outs. Oh my gosh, this has been a
we've
huge
got
week.
Heaps. I've got like a whole page worth of shout-outs. So, firstly, to our new Patreons, Azami Ako, Sherry Lee, Tara Sheehan and Aisha Steele. Thank you all for joining us. Very, very much appreciated.
Yes.
Buy Me a Coffees, we've had Ewan Giles, who's a former Victoria Police detective.
That was cool.
I know, who listened to one of our episodes because it pertained to a case that he was somehow involved with.
Yeah.
And he said he really enjoyed the way we did it, and he bought us some coffees, so thank you very much. And then our next shout out is to Louise Milne and her husband. I love that she didn't give us a name for the husband.
No, just husband.
And my husband. They are currently driving from Melbourne to WA across the Nullarbor and listening to our back catalogue, I think. So sorry, guys. But Louise said, blow the coffee and get yourselves a wine. So, all right. I mean, if you insist, okay, fine.
Stop breaking your arm, Louise.
She also said to thank Stacey Newland for the reco. So thanks to
Thank you,
Stacey as well
Stacey.
for doing what we need people to do and spreading the word. So thank you.
I love Ewan's comment because it blows a comment we got out on Spotify out the window that I was going to mention to you today.
Go say, tell everyone what it was. It was so funny.
Well, this is basically that we hadn't researched an episode enough.
Yeah.
But clearly we do if a police officer from an actual case is telling us that we've done
We
a good
did a
job
good
on
job,
it. So,
yeah. So-
there you go, Anthony.
Yeah, but also, Anthony, do you really need to comment?
Well, no, and the thing was that I love that particular case that they commented on too is divisive for some people.
Yes, I get that.
And I think what I read from the comment was, well, we just clearly have different views on it.
Yeah.
It's not how much research we did is your issue. It's just that we researched it and made a different opinion
Decision.
to what
Yeah.
you have on it. And that's fine.
That's absolutely
Please
fine.
tell us why you have this other opinion
Yes.
rather than criticising our research.
That's right.
Because that is something I'll back every day.
100%. I mean, we spend so much time putting this together. It
And
really...
look, do we don't have all the knowledge? We admit that we don't.
Oh,
Like-
100%.
No.
We know we're never going to be
Yeah.
able to research everything. We give ourselves a week to research for an episode. You know,
Sometimes
we don't,
less.
Sometimes less, exactly. So we don't always have enough time. So there are often things when we hit record that I'm like, fuck, I forgot to look into
Yeah.
that, or I didn't have time to look
And because
into
we
that.
don't script, we
Yep.
sometimes do leave out things.
Miss things.
We admit that. We get to the end of it and kind of go and have our wine maybe rather than coffee
Yep.
after this. And,
Yeah.
and we say, oh my
Oh, I
God,
forgot to
we
mention
didn't mention that.
Or we didn't talk about this aspect of it. But you know what? That's what makes our podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who loves it. Now, the other thing is I had a... so the BFT that I go to...
Oh, yes.
One of the guy who owns it put another member in touch with us.
Yeah.
Who also has his own podcast.
True crime podcast.
His own true crime podcast called True Crime Tradies. I actually haven't had a chance to have a full listen yet, but it's definitely on my list to have a.
I've checked out the
go.
socials from
Yeah,
the
same.
link from where he was, and I had a look at that. But that's all I've been able to have time to do this week.
Yeah,
But
so they're definitely in their infancy in terms of getting their podcast
released maybe
out there. but
7 episodes or something.
I think it was like that.
Yeah,
so good on them.
Absolutely, we know
John
where we were
and
at
his
7
mate.
episodes, so we know that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you've got time to check out a new podcast, that might be one. Let us know what you think because we actually haven't had a chance to go and do that ourselves yet. But thanks to John for getting in contact with us. It's very much
Do all
appreciated.
the true crime podcasters hang out at your gym?
Apparently. Like, what are the chances? I mean, what are the chances? Hold on, there's like 50 million bloody true crime podcasts out there, so high chance, I guess. But it's really cool that people are giving it a go. Love it.
Absolutely.
And then the last shout out I have is a massive, massive congratulations to one of our Patreons, Rue, who had a baby
Yes.
during the week.
Oh my God, how adorable.
So we've got our newest little bestie who's just been born, and I hope our podcast can keep you company while you're up all hours breastfeeding or feeding and doing whatever it is that babies need overnight.
Oh, the fun
We
stuff.
all know those. We all have,
We've
those
been
of us
there.
with kids have all been there. Meg and I have certainly been there. So
We hope that your baby sleeps at points so you can listen to podcasts.
yeah, that's right. And what's more soothing to a new mum than listening to a true crime podcast overnight?
Absolutely nothing. I'm sorry.
I think I've spoken about this before, but I listened to The Teacher's Pet when Lucas was
Yeah.
born, and that was what got me through the overnight feeds.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's something to be said for that for sure. So congratulations to Rue and her
Congratulations,
family.
Rue. Fantastic. But yeah, in that newborn bubble, that's the best.
Oh, I love it. I see little babies and I go, oh, and then you think, oh, nah. No, I'm done. So done.
As we talk about our 9-year-olds this morning.
Oh, the frustration of a 9-year-old boy.
Oh my God. Yeah, I forget. It's always I forget.
Yep.
Oh, kill me now.
Yep. You know what even annoyed? I actually didn't bring this up, but what's also been annoying me is how slow Lucas is with everything. Like I think I said to you this morning, it took him bloody nearly an hour to get dressed and put his shoes on this morning, which was our little fight. But then, like, even how long it takes him to get out of the car.
Oh, on the kiss and go.
I'm like, Oh yeah, and we are efficient kissing goers. I actually had to park today because I had to go into the school for something.
Oh God.
I was out of the car, around to the side. He hadn't even opened his door yet.
No.
Like, no hurry. Don't worry. I've got all day to stand here and wait
But
for you.
weirdly enough, the minute you say to them, "Come on, hurry up,"
Yeah.
they can go slower.
Yeah.
You just don't think it's
100%.
possible. They'll find a way.
Lucas was like, "Oh yeah, but can you take my bag?" I'm like, "No."
Life
You're
is so
9.
hard for a
So hard.
9-year-old.
So hard.
So hard.
When you're 9, yeah.
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 Oh, kill me now.
Okay. All this to look forward to, Rue.
It's so good. No, it's great. It's great.
They're great. They're great. It's all good. It's all good. Just enjoy what you've got right now. When they can't talk back, and you can make them be as fast as you need them to be.
Say shit like, "No cap, Mum. No cap." Whatever
I don't
the
even
fuck
know.
that
I don't
means.
actually even know what that means.
Something to do with lying, I think. But like, I don't know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
cap and no cap, and I don't know which way around it goes.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to Google
know.
some shit.
Go on,
Okay,
brah.
let's get brah. Oh, brah. Yep. Hey, brah. Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it, bro.
All right. Second episode. If you haven't listened to part 1 of the Murdaugh family
Yeah.
podcast that we released last week, please go ahead and do so, because there is a lot of context that you will miss if you don't go back and listen to these in order. So pretty much what we spoke about last week was this Murdaugh family, who are a very prominent family in South Carolina, Hampton County. They are involved in the legal fraternity there and have a lot of power and influence in that respect. And there were a lot of things that happened that sort of have led us to the point where we're going to talk about for today's episode. So that includes there were 2 very fairly suspicious deaths that had happened, and then a boat crash that was also just absolutely horrific and resulted in the death of Mallory Beach.
Yeah.
So we're picking up from where we left off last week, and we are actually now discussing what is, to me, it's unfathomable to me
Yeah.
what happened here and how the process of this all unfolded.
Yes.
So we're talking about now, we're in June, the 7th of June in 2021. We're at Moselle. Oh, just really quickly, sorry, before we get into it. Last week, Peter was listening to our podcast and he's like, you can do a Southern accent because that's the whole reason we chose Piper's name, our little puppy's name. And so the reason we chose the name Piper was because Peter and I absolutely love The White Lotus.
Yes.
At TV show. And in the last series, Parker Posey's daughter was named Piper. And her biggest thing was, Piper, no. And that was actually why we chose Piper's name. Well, Lucas actually came up with it because Peter and I would just Piper know everything. And so, so he's like, you can do at least those two words in an okay-ish accent.
I practice over the week.
Go.
Okay. All right. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mr. Alec, you're a piece of shit.
That's not bad. It's better than what you did last week. I like the Mr. Alec. Mr. Alec, yeah.
Well, it's Miss Maggie and Mr. Alec.
Alec.
It must be a whole, it's a Southern thing, I'm guessing. Like everyone was,
with
Miss
that
Maggie.
sort of honorific.
Yeah.
All right, so now serious.
Okay.
Sorry about
Yes,
that. I just
no,
had to get that
come
out
on.
though. So it's because I was about to say Moselle, and I feel like I can't say Moselle without saying Moselle. Okay, I think I've gotten it out of my system.
You're all good now?
So 7th of June 2021 at their property at 4147 Moselle Road. Now, this house is on a 1,700-acre estate in Islandton, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, this, when I say, to me, you say 1,700 acres and that means literally fucking nothing to me.
Massive.
But you can look at aerial photos of the property and it is vast and sprawling, so much so that they could go hunting on their property. There was like creeks through the property and like water bits. They had forest. They had it was just massive. And on the property they had quite a lot of they had their home and then they had outer dwellings as well. So there was a kennel shed and a feeding house sort of thing. They had other little barns and other storage sheds and that kind of thing for feed and for farming equipment, because it would take a lot to maintain a property of that size. This wasn't the Murdaughs' only property.
Nope.
They had many.
Yeah.
They had a beach house. They had properties in several states. They had other properties in South Carolina as well that were inhabited. They would sort of pick and choose and go around. But from what I can gather, I think Moselle was a property where they spent a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Beautiful home. I think we spoke in last week's episode about the type of home that Miss Maggie liked to keep, which was a very well decorated home. She was very house proud.
Yeah.
Which you look at the house and you think, oh yeah, that like it was very nice on the outside, and photos that I've seen of the inside, it's lovely. It's very well appointed, very well decorated. And then you look at other things on the property and you're like, it was dilapidated and run down and not well maintained. Did you get that impression as well?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's kind of just like what farms, or like, that sort of size property. So. I guess, as you say, it takes so much to maintain these things that over time, and I guess they have a bit of a charm to them if they're not brand new on a property like that. Does that make sense too? Yeah. I
just, the thing that struck me was that, a lot of those outer houses, and like in particular, we'll be talking about the kennels a lot and the feed room in the kennels, and you see photos of it and it's got exposed like bats.
Yeah.
There's no what Americans call drywall. There's no gyprock around.
Yeah.
And it's all like sort of exposed and it looks unfinished to me.
Yeah, but that's typical of, but yeah, I guess the exposed nature of things, like that's typical of like, farming sheds and stuff. You don't put gyprock into those places because it only does get damaged and things. It's not where you're living. It's not, it's not that purpose, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess it gets that wear and tear and quicker than other places. Yeah.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
So they're on this sprawling property, and on the night in question, we know what, it's really hard to say what we know and what. Well, we'll talk about what Alex's story is. Should we go from his perspective first?
Yeah, can do. Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the night, what Alex says is that the three of them, so this is Paul, Maggie and Alec, had dinner together around about 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And they had a lovely dinner, which I believe was prepared by their new housekeeper.
Yes, it was, because typically the housekeeper said that she would she'd been asked to make that meal, and that could happen quite often. And I think we spoke about that in terms of
with Gloria,
how that would happen. But she had such a great relationship with her housekeepers and things like that. What would happen is the family would then eat that meal, and Maggie would quite often then message or phone the housekeeper of the time and say, like, thank you so much for the meal. It was delicious. Like we had it just now. Or,
we really enjoyed this aspect of it or whatever.
So, I mean, which I think is lovely that she didn't just dismiss of like, oh, you made the meal for us and then never spoke of it again. Like for someone to go to that was always acknowledged that it was done.
I feel like that also shows the nature of their relationship. Yeah. So it was like to Maggie, obviously, as well, it was obviously a friendship because, if that was just somebody who you employed and you didn't really have any feelings towards, you may not do that.
Yeah.
Or you might maybe mention it in passing next time you saw them. But Blanca says very clearly in interviews that she would often call, make a phone call to say that was a really lovely meal.
Yeah. And this particular evening, she didn't get that message, which she found unusual at the time.
Yeah, she just said she was sort of expecting it in a way. Just because it was not that she...
Only because that was the norm.
That's right. Not because she was like, oh, when's she going to call me to tell me how good my cooking
is. Yeah.
It was more like she always calls or messages, and she was sort of like, oh, that was weird that she didn't do that.
Yes.
What Alec then says is that he fell asleep on the couch and he doesn't really know what happened after that. All he knows is that when he woke up, Maggie and Paul were not in the house, and he assumed they'd gone for a walk, which sometimes they did after dinner, maybe had gone down to check the dogs, because I think it's, the fact that they were on a working farm meant that they had working dogs, and these working dogs were kept literally in kennel cages.
Although having said that, now, many people say that Maggie did not go down to those kennels at night.
No.
She didn't feel safe down there at night and things. She was scared and it was dark. There was not much lighting down there, and she wasn't someone who liked that. So it was unusual that she had gone there.
Yeah.
Very out of character.
Very out of character.
Yeah.
Alex says he then woke up from his nap. Now, at this stage, his father had terminal cancer and his mother was in the fairly advanced stages of Alzheimer's / dementia.
Yeah.
Was still living at home but had an in-home nurse who would, like, around the clock. She had several people who rotated through shifts around the day.
Yeah.
Alec says that he sent a text message to Maggie and Paul. What time was that? Around 9?
So at 9:02.
9:02.
Yep.
And it's basically saying that he was going to go and check on his mum and he'd be back because he didn't know where they were.
No.
He's then gone and driven to his mum's house. Now, I believe it was about a 20-minute drive away. Is that right?
No, it wasn't. It was quite close.
Quite close.
No,
okay.
It was only put it this way, he texted Maggie. He left the property at 9:06 and he arrived at 9:20 at his mother's place.
Okay.
According to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the nurse sort of verifies that. The nurse, Shelley, who was on shift that night, she does verify it with his mum. She also says that he came in with a blue jacket and he was not settled. He came in and he didn't stay for very long, according to Shelley.
According to her, yeah.
According to Alec, he stayed
till 9:44.
Yeah, so 20-odd minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And then he's gone back home. Shelley says that he's left the blue jacket there and he's headed back home.
And supposedly arrived there about 10 p.m.
Yeah. But didn't stay very long at all.
No, then he headed down to the Kennels from there.
Yeah, so he's gone back to the property at Moselle and has gone down to the Kennels looking for Paul and Maggie. Now, he hasn't, I don't believe, gone back into the house. So how did he know they hadn't come back there? Yeah. That's a question I've got that's never really been raised.
Yeah, funny that.
Which I find interesting. Yeah. He's gone down to the Kennels and he has, according to him, found Maggie and Paul on the floor bleeding, on the ground, bleeding. Yeah. He immediately calls 911.
So the 911 call goes through at 10:06 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at 10:06 p.m., you can listen to the 911 call. Alex, we talked about this in the episode last week, and this is very important. Alex's voice is very distinctive.
Yeah.
He sounds quite distressed on the phone, but then... I'll talk about that in a sec. He sounds quite distressed on the phone. He's saying that he doesn't think they're breathing. And, obviously emergency services are sent out to... An
interesting question, a statement that's said on the 911 call, and his reaction to that is interesting. The 911 call, it says, ask, are they breathing? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And then she says, well, don't touch them. Right? Because it's a crime scene. Like, if he's stumbled across these people who,
have just been murdered.
So don't touch them. He says immediately, I already have. I've to check if they were breathing and things, which at a point I understand doing that as a family. I mean, as if you would just stand there and not just look at them. You would touch them. I'd 100%. Be like, my God, I'd be all over them. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything but the way he answers that is so legal.
Calculated. Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah. It's very, I already have, I've done this. Like it's very, yeah, I just find that interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So the police and EMS arrive on scene, and the first, I guess, interview that takes place with Alec is in the police car.
Yeah.
There's video of it and audio, obviously, to accompany that. And apparently this is not an uncommon thing for the area for people to be interviewed in the police cars, and that's why they're set up with the equipment that they're set up with.
Yeah.
Now, Alec goes through his version of events and I watch him and I shudder.
Yep.
He is so... Now, I know we don't know how we would react in a situation where we, quote unquote, just found our son and wife murdered.
Yeah.
And I know people react differently in these incredibly stressful situations. There is nothing about his reaction, though, that makes me think he's suffered a trauma.
Nope. It's very...
He's not crying. He's not distressed. He's just sort of sitting there. He's actually almost sitting there like irritated or something.
Yeah.
He's like, the way he's sitting, I just feel like he's not.
He's uncomfortable.
He's
would say.
uncomfortable. Yeah, agitated.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not agitated in the way that that I'm distressed about my family.
No.
It's more like I've got
Get
to
this over and done
think
with.
about my answers. Whereas to me in that situation, I wouldn't be thinking about my responses. I would just be responding. I can understand that. I can come at the not crying, like the shock of it.
Agreed.
And I'm not actually, is it not actually fully hitting you what's happened?
Yep.
I can understand that on a psychological level.
Yep.
But I can see responses just being very automatic and not being thought too much about, like because you're just kind of going
You're
in
like
the motion.
on autopilot.
Whereas you can see him really considering his answers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, okay, he's a lawyer. All right, maybe.
But your lawyer hat would come off the second
This is it.
something
I
like
really
that
do
happened
think
to
that
you.
too. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, he knows all these officers. Well, majority of them. The main one, no. She's a new officer to the scene and is not familiar with the Murdaughs. She's new to the area and everything, which I think is probably key to this investigation. She's immediately introduced to him as, and made aware, but she was not aware of the Murdaughs as many of other law enforcement were.
Well, they were friends with the Murdaughs.
Anyone in law enforcement was
they'd
friends
been
with.
there for barbecues
Yeah.
and had
Yeah.
socialised with them, and given the political nature of the solicitor role, which is like a district attorney role that Alec held, there was a lot of ceremonial stuff that they were involved in together and work things that they were involved with together as well. So they knew each other on multiple levels.
Yes.
And so I feel like when I first saw that he was interviewed in the police car, it made me go, But then I did find out that that's actually
standard.
fairly common practice for the South Carolina police law enforcement. So they're often referred to as SLED, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
Or state law enforcement division as well.
Oh,
They
is
sort of
it?
referred
Okay.
to it as both.
Yeah,
It's-
okay.
Yeah, I found it everywhere it's written differently.
Right.
Like it's between the two.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we know is that Paul, who was 22 at the time, was found in the feed room or storage area of the kennels. So there were, maybe, 8 to 10 kennels, caged kennels side by side.
Yep.
And then at the very end of that, there was a feed room. And he was found, it's an enclosed space. So it's an enclosed room with one door, tiny, like quite small, like all it needed
Probably
to
only like probably like a meter and a half wide kind of thing.
Yeah.
2
bit
meters
like an
down.
outhouse kind of thing, sort of size. What it meant was that the gunshot blast was confined to that room or slightly outside as well, because he was actually shot twice. They believe that he was shot and that first shot didn't kill him. He sort of stumbled. He's gone backwards.
Well, they reckon he was shot the first time and he wouldn't have seen who shot him.
Because he was facing
the other way.
Yeah.
He was facing into that. He's then spun, he's like, what the hell? And because it hasn't killed him, but he's sort of lurched forward to exit the room. And as he's come towards the door, they reckon he would have seen who shot him then.
Yep.
He's then been shot again as he's exiting. And so that's where his body has landed outside of the doorway.
But basically all of the matter was contained within that room.
Yes.
Both of them were very close range shots.
Yes, very close range.
Then Maggie, who was 52 at the time of her death, was found near a large oak tree just outside the kennel. So the kennels are sort of in the middle of like a bit of a forest area. There's a clearing where the kennels are, and there's another building sort of next to them, like a barn type of building.
There's I think there was like tractors or something stored in there and
so.
hay, etc.
Yeah. And then there was a line of oak trees, and she was found sort of near one of the oak trees. And she was face down at the time. And she had 5 gunshot wounds to her body that were made with an AR-15.
Yeah. So there were 3 of those shots were shot from further away.
Yep.
The final 2 shots were to the head and close range.
Yep.
Which I find interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? And so that just goes to show, she would have definitely known who had shot her.
Yes.
And it's how horrific. She would have seen Paul. They believe Paul was killed first.
Yeah.
She would have seen,
or at least heard the gunshots and potentially
coming
spun to
towards.
what's that noise?
Yeah.
Yeah. And turned, yeah.
Yeah, just quickly about AR-15s, just to break this up just a little bit. Have you heard the song about Australia's deadliest animals?
No?
It's actually really funny, but every time I hear the word AR-15, it makes me think of the song because it's talking about how Australia's got all these deadly animals like redback spiders and sharks and stuff like that. And then the chorus is, at least we don't have AR-15s. And then it talks about like all the shit that happens in the States with like, these semi-automatic weapons that are then used in mass shootings and suicides and all that sort of stuff. So, listen to it. It's actually quite a good song. But basically, the point of contention here, I think, for the police is that the two different guns were used in the perpetration of this crime.
Both long rifles. But different weapons.
That's right. So one was a 12-gauge shotgun, which has like the slug-type ammunition, which was used to kill Paul. Then the AR-15 was used to kill Maggie. Now, I don't know if this means anything to anyone, but it was like a blackout 300 rifle. And so apparently that's like a particular type of bullet that was used.
Okay.
It's just, I wonder, Maggie's injuries to me, did she hear gunshots and was she sort of running away? And then
I think she was running towards, to be honest.
So where were do you think it was once she was shot and then fell forward that the ones were done in her back?
So she, I've seen recreations of it.
Yeah.
Of her, so she's coming towards.
Yep.
And that's why they kind of do say that she knew who it was that was standing there because she was like, what was that? And potentially like, rather than running away because she was like, did you hear that as well almost? Like coming towards. And then she's got the 3 shots from the front. Mm-hmm. And as she's fallen, because one's gone through twice.
Yes.
Like one's gone through her, I think it was her shoulder and then through her leg.
Yep.
So there's more bullet wounds than there are bullets that were used. And then when she's on the ground, she was already dead. She was dead, but there was 2 more shots.
Right, okay.
To the back of the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, just to really make sure.
Yes.
She was dead.
Yeah, but she was. The coroner has confirmed that she would have died from. There was a previous bullet before those 2 went through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what a horrific way to die.
I think it was like the 2nd or the 3rd bullet would have killed her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess now the police are like, okay, we need to figure out exactly what's going on here because we've had the murder of 2 really prominent people.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that Alex says in that first interview while he's in the car with law enforcement, very quickly.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, sorry. He says it on the 911 call, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think he does.
He says that, my son Paul, people have got it out for him. He was the one who was involved in that boat accident a couple of years ago. Now, this incident, this death, these murders took place, I believe it was a week before Paul was due to go to trial, for Mallory's death.
Yes. Yeah. Now
Interesting timing.
Yeah. So in that trial, he was facing quite possibly 55 years in jail.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a 21-year-old kid at this point. I mean, you're looking at pretty much the majority of the rest of his life was very high chance looking like being spent in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who your dad is when you've done something like that.
Well, it does. Still, because they weren't convinced because there was so many ways you could get around it.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at some stuff the other night about the other families from the boating accident and them trying to get a lawyer in terms for that trial and having representation because there was all the defense for Paul had to do was provide reasonable doubt that he was driving, right? Nothing more. That's all they had to do. Now, many of the statements had been tampered with. Mm-hmm. So there was inference that, Connor could have been driving. So Connor needed a lawyer. We talked about
this last week.
Yeah. So Connor needed a lawyer. Guess who the Murdaughs directed their family to? Corey Fleming. Mm-hmm. The same person they directed Gloria Satterfield's family to. So
that was Alex's older brother's best mate.
And godfather to Paul. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there was many connections. So they got rid of him eventually, like pretty quickly because they
realised the conflict. Yeah.
So then they had to go and approach other lawyers. It was said to this family, like verbatim, right, by other lawyers that they approached, that they wouldn't go up against the Murdaughs. one lawyer in particular said to them that if Buster was still alive, who is Alex's grandfather, Paul's great-grandfather, if he was still alive, Connor would be crab meat by now and wouldn't be a problem. So be glad that that's where this is at, that you even are looking for a lawyer, because that's how bad you're getting involved in this. So I don't want a part of it, you know, like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. This
This
family.
family, it goes way back.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So the Murdaughs are more like the mafia than we've, I think, really focused on in the
definitely.
past. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more and more I deep dived into this, there are so many connections
That's
to so many
insane.
things.
That's insane.
Particularly Buster. He was known to be quite evil.
Buster Senior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not Alex's son.
Not Alex's son, yeah.
Oh, God, the fucking family tree.
I know.
With all the Randalls and Busters.
The Randalls.
Jesus. Yeah.
There's too many of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, Alex already trying to spin a story, isn't he? That, oh my God, this is a revenge killing.
Yes.
And like Maggie must have been collateral damage.
Oh, and look.
Oh,
yeah.
what I forgot to mention as well is Maggie, there was some scuttlebutt. There's rumours that go around in these small towns all of the time. Maggie and Alec, their marriage wasn't amazing, right?
Well, okay. Apparently, this is what majority of people say about their marriage, was that they were very much in love.
Okay.
Very much.
Yep.
However, they loved each other, but at this point in time were they in love, right?
Okay.
So there is conjecture around whether or not they on the rocks or not.
Okay. Well, there's stories out there and rumours out there that Maggie had actually engaged with a divorce attorney and was trying to figure out options. She hadn't been staying at Moselle very frequently.
No, she was staying at the Edisto house by the beach.
By the beach.
Yeah.
And so on this particular night, Alec had called her home.
Yeah.
And had called Paul home too. And this was part of the reason that Blanca had to make dinner for them, because Maggie didn't actually get home until, I think it was like 7 o'clock, like basically when they were about to start eating dinner. So, and I believe Paul was, not that far before her. So the reason that Alec called them back, we don't know. We don't even know if that situation is true and correct. That's sort of a rumour that is going around.
And this is the thing, is we only have Alex's side of the story in that now.
We do have Blanca's as well. She does say that Maggie was at the beach house and that she had come home.
That's fact.
That
but
day.
what we only have Alex's side of things on is what the relationship was like and what the go was there. Because
to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, I feel like
his take on it is that she was staying at Edisto, not because they were separating, like, kind of thing. And in that, he is saying that she just preferred to stay there because of what was going on with the trial with Paul. She didn't feel comfortable in Hampton.
See, I don't buy that.
I on a level, I mean, as a parent of a child who is being looked at as a murderer of another very beautiful, lovely girl in their town that they live in, I mean, going to the supermarket wouldn't have been comfortable.
Yeah, I understand it from that perspective, but Paul was still living at Moselle, and you would think your son probably needs that support at the moment, especially from his family unit. Yeah. So to me, I'm like, what was she escaping?
Yeah. What was it? I mean, this is
it?
the thing. Why was she staying there? I think that is relevant. Why she was there? Was it that she wanted to be away from her husband and away from all that stuff, or was it she wanted to be away from the stuff around Paul?
Yeah.
I could come at both, and I mean,
to me, it's more plausible that she wanted to be away from Alec.
Yeah, I knowing him, I'd want to be fucking away from him. But apparently, she was very.
We'll never
love.
know. We will never know.
She loved him. I wouldn't say in love. That's what people were sort of saying. They were like, yeah, there were cracks, but they were very devoted to each other, regardless of the cracks, because there was rumors of him having affairs and things too, and that she was sticking around regardless. Because in that family, you don't divorce.
No.
But maybe that's a motive.
Well, that's what I think. That's honestly what I think.
I'm
because
not against that being a
the
motive.
shame of that for the family would not have gone down well. Anyway, let's get into
I think more to the point of like that other things would come out in looking at finances and splitting things up. That's where I more go.
Yes. I think that's very, very true.
Yeah.
I think that's the highest
I don't think it's
thing.
the divorce being shameful. I think it's what would
I think
come
that's
out
part
of
of
that.
it, but 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So, right. Let's talk about how the investigation went.
Yeah. Well, to start with, I mean, any murder takes place of these two people. Like, there's Paul and Maggie, who are the people who've been killed. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, the police absolutely have to go, right, who could want them dead? Now, Paul is someone who is currently about to go to trial. Of course, there are people who don't like him. There is social media galore who don't like him. Many people in Hampton are, very, very over his shit.
But this is the thing, like he has so I believe it was 2 years from when Mallory died to this.
Yeah.
And so number one, he has had 2 years of freedom that he shouldn't have had.
Yeah.
Because of who he is and who his family are.
Yes.
And how slow the wheels of justice turned for him, which is so unfair.
Oh, funny that.
But then also there was no remorse at all. So what I'm saying is, the people who were on the boat that night, the other teens who were on the boat that night say that Paul was still posting. He'd just found another group of mates who were happy to indulge his every whim and still drink with him and go shooting with him and do all of those things. And there was no remorse from Paul. It's not like he was like going to them going, I'm so sorry, I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to, I will never operate a vehicle under the influence.
I'm going to devote it to the things that Mallory loved because I'm going to
become a vet because of her. No, I'm going to do good out of this. No. He just continued down the same path. So that frustrated people no end.
Yeah. Well, everyone knew that these boys had been raised to know that they were above the law.
Yep.
That's how that went.
Yeah.
So the town knew he's not going to go down for this. That was
as Anthony said, good luck.
Yep.
Good luck getting him for this.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of frustration in that field. So, you're right. The police are looking into that.
They absolutely had to go back to all those, the 4 other surviving people of that boat ride. They went to them first, right? Cleared all of them very quickly. Cleared their parents, But then, yes, there was a lot of social media, and random people who were very vocal online around how much they despised Paul for what he did and, all these sorts of things. And it's saying, that he's not going to get justice. And so would someone go, I'm going to take justice into my own hands?
Yeah.
So they had to look into all that. Absolutely, they had to look into all that. But they couldn't find anything.
They couldn't. Again, we speak about this all the time in these crimes. You start from the inside and you work your way out.
Yeah.
So at what point did they vet Alec?
Well, I don't know that they did until he did the next thing.
That's right. So again, I feel like because of who he was and because of the influence that he had and the position that he held, the power that he had, he didn't get looked into like it would be if somebody completely anonymous and completely not involved in this sphere would have been. So go, what happened next?
So the next bit is that, so this particular day, he drove his car down the road a bit from his house, pulled over the side, and he had a flat tyre. Well,
supposedly.
It was, but I think...
it was flat.
Had it been slashed?
I believe a screwdriver had been used. So not slashed,
not
but
slashed with a knife, but punctured.
Yeah.
So flat tyre. So his story, let's go with his story to begin with. He was then changing this tyre on the side of the road, and according to him, a car pulled up.
A good Samaritan trying to help
and shot him. Right?
In the head.
His he rang rang 911 and the phone call that I find very interesting.
Very odd. There's no worry or panic in his voice at all.
No, as in someone who's just been shot in the head, he is clear. Well, supposedly shot in the head. Sorry, I should say it like that.
Supposedly.
Supposedly shot in the head. You didn't even try and act a little bit like I'm in pain or, I don't know. He was clear. He was very thorough. He did his
very thorough.
Silver tongue crap on that phone call. My God, he was on for a chat. It's the weirdest 911 call.
It's so bizarre.
He calls 911 and cops rock up, and he gets taken off to the hospital.
I believe he got airlifted, actually.
He did. He got airlifted to Savannah Hospital.
Yes. But you can see there's actually body cam footage. So they sent an ambulance,
Yes.
right? And so he's in the back of an ambulance when the police arrive, and their body-worn camera footage, you can see him in the back of that ambulance before he gets airlifted.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was shot in the head. And like, it's just like, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
It's so freaking weird. And the police officer's like, okay, like, what do I do with this? You know, it was so weird.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
to
not
interrupt
at
you.
all. So the cops look into this though, and so his description of the person that did this to him is that it was someone much younger than him, short hair, all these sorts of things, basically describing someone who might fit the persona of someone around Paul's age, I guess, someone who maybe had it out for Paul, because the immediate thing that the media pick up on this is like, oh my God, now Alex been shot and attempted murder on him. This is clearly now someone who is a vigilante out there to, you know, destroy the entire family because of Paul, like, you know, and the stuff that he was involved in. That was what the story that kind of went out on that.
Yep. And from the outside looking into it and the reporting that had been done to that point.
Yep.
Okay.
A
yeah,
fair
I
take
see
on
it.
it.
100%
Absolutely.
fair take on it. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. The cops ended up speaking to a guy by the name of Curtis
Eddie. Curtis Eddie Smith.
Eddie Smith. Now, Curtis is technically Alex's cousin.
A distant
cousin.
Yep.
But they've been around in each other's lives for a very long time.
Yep.
Now, Eddie's an interesting character.
Oh, my God. To say the least.
To say the least. Now, Eddie tells a very different story of what happened that day.
Now, the reason they knew to talk to Eddie
Yes.
is because in investigating this, the police are looking for CCTV
That's
footage.
right.
And they go to I think it was a funeral home car park
Yes.
had CCTV footage. And what they can see is they can see Alex's car going down the road.
Yeah.
And then a few, like literally maybe a minute or so later, another truck going down the road. And then they can actually see them following one another, or one following the other,
Yeah.
down to where, you know, this eventual incident
Yeah.
took place.
So the cops are like, well, we better look at that car.
That
is that the
car.
car that
Yeah.
is the driver?
That's right.
Who shot Alec on the
They were doing
as
the
they're
right
driving
thing. They were
past.
trying to figure out
Absolutely.
who'd been down that road that day.
Yeah. So it turns out that it's Eddie. And they talk to him, and Eddie says that he got a phone call from Alec to say, meet me on this road. And he's like, I just do that. It's weird, but I go and do that because he does whatever Alec tells him to.
Ever.
So he rocks up, turns up, and Alec hands him a gun and tells him to shoot him. Now, his reason for this, he says, is because his wife and son are dead. He doesn't want to live anymore. He's, you know, so
distraught.
So distraught. He doesn't want to live anymore. But if he kills himself, Buster won't get the insurance payouts.
So he had a $10 million life insurance policy.
Yeah. So to ensure Buster, as his sole surviving son, gets all dues to him, he wanted Eddie to shoot him and kill him. And Eddie's like, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
Nah, man.
No. So he literally, like fully, according to Eddie, Alec turns around, you know, gets down on the ground and like, you know, shoot me in the back of the head, like, you know. And so Eddie shoots into the air and it's like, fuck you, no, I'm not going to do that. And left. At which point, we believe Alec has then fallen over, accidentally, potentially. And that's where he hurt his head.
Like grazed his head.
His
on
ear,
the
like the side of his head.
It looks like what happens when you fall over when you're a kid on asphalt and you get all the asphalt in your knee. Like,
yeah,
you know, that graze, but sore, like really sore.
Yeah.
But not a fucking gunshot.
Not a
wound.
gunshot. Oh, God. So they approach Alec with this information of what Eddie says, and he basically doubles down as if like to say, you know, I said that to Eddie in terms of like, you know, that I wanted to kill me, like I wanted to commit suicide, but, you know, I need to save Buster. But he still says that Eddie shot him.
Yep.
It's not a gunshot wound, mate.
So even the medical staff who treated him were like, this isn't a bullet graze. We've seen bullet grazes before. This is not a bullet graze.
No.
This is a graze. Like we had to pick asphalt
grave.
out of your wound, you know?
Yeah.
We weren't picking gun fragments. We're picking, or bullet fragments. We're picking asphalt. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess this kind of then goes, what the fuck is going on here for the cops? And they're going to look at him a little bit closer, maybe.
Well, the thing that I think the cops figure out is that, and I guess at this point too, look, no, law enforcement are really sort of looking at this Eddie character going, this is very, very odd.
Yeah.
What they find in investigating him is that Eddie was...
It was cashing checks.
For
Alex.
For Alex.
He cashed 437 checks in total. That totaled $2 million.
$2.4 million US dollars.
Yeah.
Now all of the checks, most of the checks were under $10,000.
Just under $10,000.
Like literally some of them were like $9,987.
Yeah, and 47 cents.
Yeah. Just to look real legit.
Just legit.
And yeah, so over like literally 8 years, I think it was, it's $2.4 million of cash checks.
Yeah.
And not only that, but so I guess Eddie was, on paper, was Alex's handyman. He'd go over and do odd jobs at the house and all that kind of thing. But really, he was Alex's primary oxycodone supplier. And yeah, his personal check casher.
I have a little question mark over the drug stuff.
Go.
So I query a little bit on this, whether or not the drug situation, I 100% believe drugs are involved in this. I'm not questioning that. But his drug taking, I'm just questioning whether that was a little exaggerated for purposes of sympathy within the courts. Okay. And it meant that he could go to rehab and evade a few questions and things from police because he's in rehab, and use that as a blame for the financials and other things that had gone on for him. Like he could blame the drug use and go, oh my gosh, I'm an addict. Like, I need to get, if I'm not an addict, I'm not the bad person.
Yeah, I think that's
right?
very, very fair. But then I
do think he used. I'm not saying.
No, definitely.
But I
mean, we know he did.
I just query the level of what he has definitely.
I think.
I don't know.
No, but the thing is, though, I think they were. The amount of money, so this $2.4 million, they cannot trace it anywhere. This is because checks were cashed, right?
Yes.
But what else did he spend that money on if it wasn't drugs?
I do think he spent it on drugs. I 100% think he spent it on drugs.
$2.4 million. The thing that gets me, though, is that there's reports out there that he was so addicted to oxycodone, okay, to the tune of up to 80 pills a week.
I've heard him talk about taking over 200 in a week.
200 no, actually, I have read that. No, you're right. I have read that. Because, like, if you have a bit of oxy after you've had an operation, one tablet fucking makes you woo.
And I get that over time you build up a resilience.
Definitely.
Again.
But 200 a week?
That's where I think
That's
that this was.
lot,
I think he was buying. I do think he was buying those drugs, but I also think that there was. He was. Well, there's talk of cartels being involved.
Yes.
He had an airport.
He had.
And
not airport.
Not airport.
He had strips of land where he landed aeroplanes.
Yeah, he had planes coming in.
Yeah.
So there's talk of connections to various other aspects of drugs.
Now, mind you, the whole family knew about that. Paul, Buster, Maggie, they all knew that he had these airfields and airstrips. They would go there and pick, well, Eddie as well, he says he would go to these airstrips and pick up packages. He never asked what they were. They rattled, but he never asked what they were when he was either dropping it off or picking it up.
Oh, God, I love
He's
Eddie.
like, he's like, I knew it wasn't a rattlesnake.
I don't ask, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Literally
He's like,
what he
don't
would
ask, don't tell. I mean, he was on a good wicket. I think he was getting he would get a fair percentage of, I think he got something like, well, he says he got a handling fee for every time he helped. Now, if you got a handling fee on $2.4 million, I'm sure you weren't getting fuck all. No. You were probably doing okay out of the situation.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie has been charged with money laundering and he's doing his time.
Yeah.
But,
as he should be.
As he should be. But I just do believe, I really feel like the drug situation was exaggerated in this to benefit him in this situation, because I think that the drugs actually, it also then covered up where the drugs were really kind of going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very fair and valid.
There's a lot more to this family that is not uncovered.
No.
Because I believe that drug cartel stuff goes right back to like this Buster Senior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they had so much money, and it wasn't like, we call it old money these days. And in relation to Alec and his family, it was old money, right?
Yeah.
But where did that money actually come from? Because really Buster Senior was the first generation of that. And that was only 2 generations before Alec.
Yeah.
Like, how do you amass such an absolute fortune in 2 generations? You have to be doing something pretty significant, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
To gain that kind of
the words that were
generational.
used by someone that I was reading the other day was that Buster Murdaugh, particularly Buster Murdaugh Senior, was that if he liked you, he looked after you. If he didn't like you, he took care of you. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean.
Oh, we know what you mean.
Like sleeping with the fishes kind of took care of you.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
See?
So he was a known not nice person.
Yeah.
People feared him.
Oh, fucking oath.
And that then bled down to, and then, so what do you get to from that being like, 2 generations ago? What do the next generations look like after that kind of level of fear?
Yep, 100%.
When they're still in those same powerful positions.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a quote that that Eddie said during his defence.
Yeah.
He said, if I'd have shot him, he'd be dead.
I love that
And
comment.
I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, fair. Yeah. I see that.
Well, because he reckoned that, because that was something that came out at one point that Alex said he did shoot him, but he missed.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, I don't miss.
No, I don't miss. Yeah. Fuck you, Alex.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Don't call me a bad shot. That's the most offensive thing you could probably say to someone from the South.
Yeah. I know, right? Especially to someone like Eddie.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what's unraveling now is that we're obviously, the police are like, Alec didn't tell us the truth about this. That's weird. I wonder what else he might not have told us the truth about.
Well, I think at the same time as this going on, the financial stuff is also unraveling.
Well, that was unraveling, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was going on is the fact that Alec basically had no money. He'd essentially bankrupted himself and the family because of his drug use. Or he'd certainly spent that money on drugs or whatever it was that he was cashing these checks for. Mm-hmm. So when we're sort of like, looking into that, the embarrassment of that for this family, and
well, his own law firm brought him in and said, like, what the fuck's, where's the money? Because they started doing their own audits and checks on things. And what they found was that there was so many fees that should have been charged to clients and things that they weren't being able to find within their financials. Where'd that money end up? All these.
They had some really detailed forensic accounting done. And what they found was that not only had Alec stolen from the legal firm.
Yes.
So he'd actually taken money out of their coffers to spend however he wanted to spend it.
Yeah.
What they also found was that there'd been some really shady shit that had happened.
He forged signatures on things
all the time.
He redirected checks. He misrepresented case settlements. So, said that it was $1 million settlement. So the law firm were expecting $1 million when in actual fact the case was settled for $3 million. So where did the extra go? That sort of stuff. He was doing all these sorts of things too.
In particular, what came out, which is just disgusting, is with Gloria Satterfield's sons.
Yeah.
So these were the guys we were talking about last week, where Alec had provided them this Corey Fleming as a hotshot lawyer to sue the homeowners insurance. They said that they would get $500,000. They actually got $4.3 million. And so what that meant, not that those boys ever saw that $500,000 either,
nope.
but what that meant was that, what was that, $3.8 million has gone straight into the pockets of Corey and Alec.
Yeah.
And so they'd not only done that to Gloria Satterfield's sons, they had done that to so many other...
They did it to many injured people in
People.
accidents.
Yep.
They did it to a family of a deceased victim, a quadriplegic man, a deaf client, and obviously the sons of Gloria Satterfield as well as the law firm. So money was coming in from multiple different places in that sense. Yeah.
The paraplegic case, I read into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that was disgusting because what ended up happening was the settlement that person got was not even enough to cover their care.
No.
Whereas it should have been. Like the settlement that they legitimately got was enough.
Yeah.
But what they thought they got was nowhere near enough to cover what they needed to live a basic life.
Oh, it's just
It's
disgusting.
disgusting.
What he did too was to get this over people so they didn't question it, he set up a bank account and named it Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean anything to you. I'm not you and I. However, in this county and in this area, there was a well-known legitimate financial settlement planning company called Forge.
Mm-hmm.
So what he would convince these families of what he was doing was that the check would come made out to Forge, which meant that the money was going into an account that was for their financial future, and it was a planning, like a settlement planning account. And so they would say, yeah, sure, put it in that bank account. And it would be his bank account just named Forge.
And he never, obviously, they would never be able to access
They
that
can't
money.
access that money then. No.
So how did that not come out earlier? Nobody wanted the money or needed the money
They
earlier?
believed it was being put where it was supposed to be
Sure.
put.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
He would
Jesus
convince
Christ,
them that this was what
man.
was, and because it was a legitimate company, they honestly thought that this was being done how it was supposed to be done,
Yeah.
and it wasn't.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. So now Alec is looking more and more suspicious day on day.
So what does he do? He goes and checks himself into rehab.
Yeah, because he's weak as fucking piss and he knows that this will look sympathetic to a judge.
That's what I
and
mean by this
jury.
exaggeration of it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was fully as bad as he made out. But so he goes off to rehab, but he thinks by doing that he's, avoiding all of it. The day he leaves rehab, what do? They arrest him.
Yeah.
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of it.
Of course it's not.
No.
Basically, the other thing that they do, so when they arrest him, they're obviously interviewing him now at the police station. And this is really the first recorded interview within the police station, because I think there were 2 recorded interviews in a car with him, and then the actual first one in the actual police station was after he'd been released from rehab.
Yeah, that's right.
And so he's in this. Even the way he sits in that gives me the fucking shits. It's like he's so fucking too cool for school.
Oh, mansplaining all the way.
Yeah, totally. And so his attitude is just like, we're discussing the murder of your wife and your son.
Yeah.
And you're just, oh my God, he's fucking horrific.
The way they get to a point where the police officer is asking questions and it ends up directly saying to him, did you shoot your son Paul and did you shoot your wife Maggie? And which he responds, both times, no, I did not, and no, I did not. Mm-hmm. And then he turns and he asks the officer, do you believe I did that?
Yeah. Oh,
and
he's
I love the officer's response to it in that I have to go where the evidence is pointing me to, and this is where it's taking me. Yep. But the way he just so arrogantly says, like, what, are you looking at me for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So the police have in evidence Paul's phone and Maggie's phone, right?
Yes.
Phones. Now, this family were prolific phone users.
Yeah.
They were on their phones all the time.
Particularly Paul, apparently.
Particularly Paul.
Yeah.
Particularly Paul, sending Snapchats and, I don't even know if
God, I
Snapchat
get
was back, but
Snapchat.
messages and all that sort of stuff back then. In constant contact with people. A lot of FaceTiming and that kind of thing as well. Like that was something that he did often.
Yeah.
So the police give Alec Paul's phone and said, do you know the passcode to this? And he's like, no. I don't know. The police then
I don't believe him when he says it, by the way.
No, I don't either.
I don't. The way he smirks is a
Yeah,
smirk.
exactly. That was in the car. That was one of the interviews in the car where they asked him this. So this was before he'd been to rehab. The police are like, fuck, we really need to get into this phone because they could get into Maggie's. Alec knew Maggie's passcode, so that was fine. Both Maggie and Paul's phones both stopped working, both stopped having any correspondence or traffic at around 8:49.
Yeah.
And they're locked and they're never unlocked again.
So what they've gathered from Maggie's phone is that, that this murder has occurred at approximately 8:49.
Yep.
They can sort of like roughly say that there's no more movement on Maggie's phone at that point. So this is it's getting a good timeline from her phone.
But they need corroboration through Paul's phone.
Yeah.
So they send the phone off to the Secret Service. The Secret Service, because the police, the local police have tried and they've used their forensic people. Nothing happened.
They've tried well, according to them, they tried all of the obvious number combinations.
But then they send the phone off to the Secret Service and the Secret Service put his date of birth in and that opens up the phone. Wouldn't you be embarrassed?
Oh, well, I mean, especially when, I think it was Buster even that's on interview saying, like, oh no, Paul's really private, so I don't know his passcode.
No, that was actually Alex said
was
that.
Alex that said that?
Alex
Yeah,
said
this is really private.
He's very private with his phone. We don't know.
Using your fucking birthday for your passcode.
So fucking private. Yeah. So anyway, that meant then that the police were able to go through and forensically look at absolutely everything on Paul's phone. And they see that at pretty much the exact same time, his phone also goes dark, which is at 8:49 roughly.
Yeah.
And then, but they go back and they're looking at photos and videos. And what they find is there's a video that Paul took at 8:44 and 49 seconds. Mm-hmm. We call this the Kennel video.
Yeah.
This is the linchpin of this case.
Yeah.
It's the smoking gun, in my opinion. Without this, I don't even know where things would be.
Should we just go back one second before you go to that? No. I'm just, as you're saying that, going, Maggie's phone was not found on her.
True.
They couldn't find it for a while. They found it down the road, which is a weird thing, an odd thing anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but her phone does stop working and stop moving and
at
things.
the same time as Paul's.
Yeah, at the same time as Paul's.
Yep.
Yeah, roughly. But they are further away from each other
than their bodies.
Yeah.
Yep, that's very fair. Very fair point.
Yeah.
So what happened was, one of Paul's mates had his dog was kenneling his dog at their kennels. I think he'd
gone away
I
feel like oh God, I saw him interviewed.
Same.
I feel like he was either got into college, maybe gone to college, I think, or something.
Okay, and there was a reason that he wasn't in Moselle.
His college was further away in that, so I think he'd asked Paul to look after his dog. Yeah.
So this dog was down at the kennel, and when Paul had gone down there that night with Maggie, he'd noticed that there was something wrong. This dog's name was Cash, and he'd noticed there was something wrong with Cash's tail.
Yeah.
And so he tried to FaceTime this friend, but there wasn't much.
Everyone
phone
says
reception
there's not much
down
phone reception there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, there's tall trees all around you.
Yeah.
Like I get why there's not. You're out in the middle of nowhere. So Paul then decides to take a video that he can then send once he gets back up to the house to his mate to be like, what do you want me to do about your dog's tail?
Yeah.
So it's a shocking fucking video.
Oh, it is.
Like, can you even see the tail?
Tail's
Like,
wagging
it's
away.
wagging, and he's like, the phone's going everywhere. But the really interesting thing is, you can hear Miss Maggie in the background.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, one of the dogs has a guinea. And then you hear this other male, very distinctive male voice say,
it's a chicken.
Yep. Or it's a bird.
It's a chicken.
Is it? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Very distinctive voice. Who do we know who has a very distinctive voice, Meg?
I don't know.
Could it be one Alex Murdaugh by any chance?
Yeah, maybe.
He also says something else.
There is something else he says after that.
And then...
Because she's like, oh my God. Like, it's kind of a little bit like, panicky from Maggie.
Oh,
like,
God,
not panic.
yeah.
Like,
but you're like, oh, the dog's got something. Yuck. Get it out of its mouth, basically.
And he does say something else after that. And again, it's so distinctive. You know whose voice that is without question.
Yep.
And Paul's not reacting to his voice as if he didn't expect to hear his dad's voice.
No, not at all.
There is no reaction. He continues on recording like this dog's tail, and you can kind of hear him talking over the video a little bit too.
Yep.
But yeah, and then that cuts out.
Cuts out.
Wait. Alec never said he was at the kennels.
Mm-hmm.
What? What's going on?
No, he got to the kennels after 10 o'clock at 10:06.
And if Alec was at the kennels when that video was being recorded at 8:49. 8:44, sorry.
8:44, yeah.
And then Maggie and Paul are shot at 8:49. That doesn't give much time for him to have exited the scene and someone else come in and shoot them loudly with shotguns. He just forgot that he was there at the time, basically, of their murders? What?
Say what? And then he's like also gotten in his Suburban, driven to his mum's.
So at 9:06, so he did. So
Yeah, he actually did go there.
He arrived at his mother's place at 9:06. He drove there at 9:06 and arrived there at 9:22.
Mm-hmm.
He left there by 9:44. He returned to the kennels. So at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
to then make the phone call to
911.
911 at 10:06. What? So Alec, in the trial, because he is clearly charged with this murder.
Clearly.
At the trial, he changes his story in the middle of the trial because they took so long
Unbeknownst to his lawyer.
Well, so someone said in one of the documentaries of so Alec became his own lawyer at that point.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And you can actually see the look on his lawyer's
Yeah,
face
it's like,
because
what the
this
fuck are
whole
you
thing
doing?
was televised.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good court footage.
Yeah.
The look on his lawyer's face, I'd be like, yeah, well, of course this was going to happen, mate. Like, look at who your client is. But sorry, go
Because
explain that.
simply, as we've said all the time, don't get on the stand. Don't get on the stand.
Don't get on the stand.
Your lawyer will tell you don't get on the stand.
The
Don't
lawyer
get on
told him
stand.
not to get on
His
the
lawyer
stand.
very much said that, but our
He
good
knew
old
better.
narcissistic Alec couldn't help himself and he got on the stand.
Because he thought that he could spin it.
Literally. And he does say on the stand, he goes, that he lied about being there.
Yep.
And
He
admits
said,
to
I
lying
lied
there.
to the investigators. I was at the kennels.
Yeah. And he tries to sort of then make out as if, he left and he didn't see this until he came back. But he then he says about the nurse because
Shelley.
So he went to the nurse and told her, tell the police I was here for like 45 minutes. And she's like, he was only here for like 20.
20, yeah.
And she confessed that to the police. She's like, I can't do this. He's trying to tell me to say he was there longer. And she sat on the stand and said that.
Yep.
And she was terrified to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Terrified. I feel so awful for her.
I know. She's a woman of great integrity.
Absolutely. And so he got on the stand then and basically tried to make out that she's lying and said, I don't know why she's doing that, because I was there for 45 minutes and I know I was, and really doubled down on that sort of situation, which I think that just did him no favours.
No.
But he makes this statement in that time of this weird, and the judge calls him out on it in the end and says, he goes, the what is it? The web of the web of lies we weave. What is that trying to get yourself off of this? Because that's making you sound like
you're guilty
as fuck. And you tried to lie your way out of this and it's not worked.
The other thing that the prosecution have is a fair whack of circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
So part of that is we mentioned that blue jacket.
Yeah.
Now, the blue jacket had Maggie's blood on it.
Yeah.
Splatters of Maggie's blood. They found that at Alex's mum's place.
Yeah.
They also, the testimony from Blanca, the housekeeper, was that morning Alec was wearing a certain outfit and then that night he was wearing a different outfit.
Well, he was wearing then on the video these khaki pants and a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Yet when the police arrive, he's wearing a white T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
So there's been a change of clothes, regardless of whether at what point in this
Would you have
timeline
had the
he's
time?
giving.
Exactly.
Like he would have time if he'd shot them at 8:49
No,
and didn't call the
absolutely.
cops until 10:06.
Absolutely.
He's got plenty of time to change his clothing. But in his timeline of saying, well, I've left pretty much at 8:44 after I said those words on that video and gone to my mum's and never mentioned changing clothes in this time. And his timeline he's giving, there's no time for changing clothes, but he's absolutely changed his clothes and they have evidence of that.
Yeah. There's so much evidence.
Yeah.
They also found that his Suburban had been wiped down, right?
Yeah.
But apparently this happens all of the time. People forget to wipe the seatbelt when they're trying to get rid of evidence from the car. And so there was actually Maggie's blood on the seatbelt that had been soaked into the seatbelt. So he's obviously had blood on his hands when he's pulled his seatbelt across.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her blood in his fingers have, left that there. So that was found as well. Again, circumstantial, but it all points to the same outcome, the same ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
He's at trial. Now, what was he charged with in the end? Let me just get my piece of paper about all of this, because this is even complex in and of itself, because he was tried for the financial crimes at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that it was quite a complex court case. It went from January to March in 2023. And it took place in Walterboro, South Carolina. And the reason for that is because he was so prominent in Hampton County and the surrounding counties. They actually had to, move fairly far away to get what would hopefully be an impartial jury or somebody who didn't know or had probably more so that wasn't influenced by who he was and who his family were.
This is it, yeah.
So it was an absolute media circus. As I said, it was televised. People were lining up at 5 a.m. to get a seat in the courtroom. There was a lot of shit went down. There were bomb threats that were called in and cleared the court several times. I wonder who did that.
Eddie, anyone?
Eddie. I think Eddie was actually already in jail by this time.
Point, was he?
I'm pretty sure his trial was his sentencing
Has a little bit
and
of his
everything
MO,
was
I
a bit
reckon.
Yeah. Maybe he had people on the outside helping him. Who knows? So basically, they get to the point. They did have a pre-trial hearing, and they were sort of testing some evidence and that kind of thing. But what it meant was that when it came to the full trial, that the financial crimes and the murder charges were both handled within the same, trial time, which was probably a good thing because it was all intertwined. Everything to do with this case was all really intertwined. Oh my God, this is one thing that actually gets me. I've just written down snot. If I say to you snot, what do you think?
Oh, I know, I'm lost.
Oh my God, in every fucking interview, even on every time he's on the stand, all he does is sniff. And it drives me. It was actually to the point where I'm like, I can't fucking watch this bloke anymore. My dad would hate it. My dad hates a snot anything.
Is that due to taking lots of cocaine?
I think probably, but he's like...
Oh God, I'll gag again like last week.
Oh yeah. We're not talking about oyster roasts, don't worry. Juicy oyster roasts. But it's disgusting. Like his manner, he's just so fucking gross.
I find him really repulsive.
He's so repulsive.
Yeah.
But the sniffing just really gets me. One of the jurors actually commented, because, we know in the States jurors can then come out after the trials and say whatever they want to say. And one of the jurors actually said that he was trying to cry at one point, but all he could do is like blow his nose and try and make his eyes water from blowing his nose. I'm like, well, at least he blew his nose then and didn't actually sniff. Disgusting.
Oh, God.
So on the 2nd of March, the trial's gone on until the 2nd of March, and the jury begin deliberating at 3:41 p.m. that day. The experts, people in the legal fraternity, assumed that it would be quite a significant deliberation. They thought it'd be days, if not, up to a week of deliberations. The initial vote, according to the jurors, was that when they entered the room, there were 9 guilty, 2 not guilty, and 1 person who was unsure. Mm-hmm. The evidence...
Apparently the 2 that were... that didn't vote guilty straight away, their thing on it was that they just could not come at the fact that a father could shoot their own child.
Yep. It wasn't that the evidence didn't show that. It was that they couldn't believe that somebody would do that.
Yeah.
So they talked around that. They watched the video again and that Kennel video, and that was a nail in the coffin. That was the thing that everyone was like, well, yeah, he's there. He's there at the time that they were murdered.
And I think a lot of people still to this day are not convinced that there wasn't someone else involved.
Yeah, I think people say that because of the fact of the 2 gun situations.
The 2 different guns, yeah.
Both of the guns did belong to the Murdaugh family. There were ballistics that were done to show that they were done. The guns were never recovered. The actual guns were never recovered.
It's very interesting. Have you seen that footage?
No.
Oh, so there was a particular, like, this is where we go again. There's so many connections to law enforcement, right?
Yep.
That the police had decided that they would look at the house and, see what evidence they could find there.
Sure.
And oddly enough, do you think maybe someone in the Murdaugh family might have found out about that beforehand? I think pretty likely, because Randall, his Alex brother, and someone I think might have been John Marvin, I can't remember exactly who, they rocked up in a car. Now there's someone, it was a journalist who had a drone, and he knew about this fact that they were going to come and do a search of the house.
He didn't know. It was purely
Was it purely- I
coincidental.
thought in the interview he said he knew that it was happening.
Oh, okay.
So
I
he thought
it
he'd
was
put up a drone and just keep an eye on the house and
Right,
things.
okay. I
So
thought
the
it was
day before this
coincidental,
was going to occur,
Yep.
rocks up this truck and he's got his drone up and he records these people going into the house and bringing out a heap of stuff, not just guns, but a heap of stuff out of the house, guns included. And it's very much seen him. They're carrying out these. There was 2 particular guns he carried over his arm, like at one point, and put them in the truck. And now, oddly enough, they just then disappeared.
I completely forgot about that. I have
Yeah.
seen that video.
Yeah,
I have
you can
seen
see it
that
on
video.
like YouTube or something.
Yeah,
You can Google search
yeah.
it. It's very, very clear. He follows them down the road with his drone for a considerable way, and it's very obvious that things were taken out of that house before it was searched by sled,
Yep.
and they couldn't find the murder weapons.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean that's too coincidental to go that occurred. I just
100%.
yeah.
The final tally, after 45 minutes of deliberation and debate, like they did say there was debate
Yeah.
about it and they were talking around this issue of being able to kill one's child.
Yeah.
A unanimous guilty verdict was returned
Mm-hmm.
on all counts. So we're talking the financial crimes and the 2 counts of murder.
Yeah.
When the clerk of court, who she was...
Becky Hill.
Yeah. She was, a bit nervous about having to read that out to Alec.
Yeah.
But when she read out the guilty verdict, Alec basically sat there and just stone-faced. Yeah. Buster was sitting next to John Marvin in the court when the guilty verdict came down, and obviously the cameras were focused on them too. And Buster just kind of puts his head in his hands, and I mean, his dad's now going to prison forever.
For murdering his mum
For murdering his mum and
his brother.
So he was sentenced to 2 consecutive, so not concurrent, but consecutive sentences of his natural life.
Yeah.
So he will never be released from prison.
He was then also convicted for was 40 years he was given for the financial stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, because we now move to now where he is appealing the murder charges. He's not appealing the financial stuff. So even with appealing the murder charges, no matter what, he has to spend the 40 years in prison.
Yep.
Which, I mean, 40 years would be the rest of his life. He's
Yeah.
now, I mean, he was 52, I believe, 51
Yes,
at this point in time when the murders occurred.
Yep.
So, I mean, 40 years, I mean, you're pushing it, like, as
Yeah.
to whether your life's still around. So 40 years is enough to get him to stay in jail for the rest of his life.
Yep.
So I question that. I mean, I get it for the purpose of, like, if you truly are innocent, that you would continue to fight that it's not on you that you killed your wife and son.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail regardless. Why put yourself through it as well? Because when you fucking did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's appealed that, and it's actually playing out at
Right
the
now.
moment. So
In
the
February of 2026.
part of that appeal that they've put in is around that clerk, the law clerk that read out that verdict. So Becky Hill, who has written a book
Yep.
about the Murdaughs,
Yep.
she's been accused of tampering with that jury. There's been evidence of tampering with the jury by Becky Hill to gain information for her book, right? She's resigned from the role. I mean, so it's kind of almost admitting guilt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if she did, she did. And I guess he does deserve a retrial.
It's interesting. I've seen some commentary around this
Yep.
being that happened after the fact, after
Yeah.
the trial, after the verdict. And so where the legal precedent sits with that,
Yeah.
people aren't really sure. So it does need to be tested
Yeah.
in court. And whether or not he will be granted another trial, we won't know for months. So
No.
his legal team have put this to the court of the reasons that they want a retrial to take
Yeah.
place. But whether or not that happens, we won't know for a long time. Like I've seen somewhere that maybe by July we might know.
Yeah.
And it's February at the moment.
Yeah.
So the wheels of justice, as we know, turn very, very slowly.
Especially when you're a Murdaugh.
Yeah. Well, I think he would want this
Yeah.
to go faster.
Yeah, I
because
guess
he
so.
thinks he can get himself off because he's an arrogant fucking son of a bitch.
But he can't get himself off
The financial
financials.
stuff, yeah.
So, yeah, as I say,
he's doing
still
this
gotta
for
do
his own
time.
entertainment. Like he, you know,
The narcissism in him.
Yeah,
And he can't help himself.
No, he can't help himself. And the fact that he thinks he he obviously thinks he can win it.
Yeah.
You know, he's giving
Evidence
it a red
is
hot
there. It's pretty strong evidence against him.
Yeah.
I can't see another jury that's not tampered with then,
Yeah.
you know, like as being put forward at the moment has occurred.
Yeah.
You redo that trial the way, you know, I mean, I know that obviously the prosecution will, the defense will change tact, you know, and all that kind of thing to, you know, was it that they've learnt I think they were in trial when they found out about the evidence in terms of the video footage on Paul's phone.
They 100% were already in trial.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, that's something they now know going into it. They can start that from the beginning with the next jury to sort of be on the back foot about that rather than
on the
front
foot,
foot, rather than the back foot.
Yep.
So I guess that could change a slightly different trial in that respect, but to the point of then you still know he's there at the time of their deaths, basically, like within minutes of them being shot, he was there.
They also did, just to sort of prove that even if he had have walked away in that time frame, that he would have still been able to hear gunshots.
That's the thing. It's not even about the fact that he could have, yes, okay, let's say at 4:46 he left. At 4:49 a gunshot going off.
8:46,
8:40, sorry, I'm getting my time right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3-4 minutes of leaving that property, the gunshots would have been that loud that he would have gone, what the hell was that, and gone back, you
Definitely.
know? So calling at 10:06 p.m.
Yeah.
Finding their bodies.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. Like, he's a fucking dickhead.
Let alone then all the other evidence that goes along with it.
Yeah. Just another really interesting part about the trial, the judge, his name was Clifton Newman, who presided over the trial of Alec.
Yeah.
He said, "We have a lawyer whose family has controlled the court of justice for years, whose grandfather's portrait hangs at the back of this very courthouse. I have had to have ordered removed to ensure that a fair trial was held by both the state and the defence." So that again shows the influence. His grandfather's picture was in this courtroom.
Yeah.
And like, he thought he was above the law. He thought he could get away with this. Motive, I think, is something we need to talk about. Like,
yes,
the motive for him doing this, I think, is widespread. I think there's the financials. I don't think he wanted Maggie to ever find out that they were essentially in financial ruin because of him.
I mean, that is the shame of that for him would be, like, I mean, they've come from a position of wealth for like generations, and that you're the fuckwit who couldn't maintain it and couldn't grow it. You know, that I think that would really kill him as a narcissist.
Definitely.
Like,
the fact that, you know, potentially if Maggie was thinking of leaving him, the shame that would bring upon the family, that was just not something the Murdaughs did. They didn't get divorced. They
just threatened them with murdering
their
them
lives.
and
Like,
put obituaries in the newspaper like his dad did.
His dad did to his mum, and they were still together.
That was her. The reason he did that was because Libby, his wife, did say to him, I can't do this anymore, I'm going to leave you.
Yep.
And so he put a fucking obituary in the newspaper to threaten her with her life to keep her in the marriage.
Oh, it's probably worth noting as well, Alex's dad died 3 days after Paul and Maggie of terminal. He had, I believe, bowel cancer.
It was, yeah.
So, like, there's so much tragedy befalling this family all at the same time. Most of it at the hands of fucking the son.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Totally.
Nobody ever, like, Paul wasn't a good person.
No. Nope.
But he did not deserve to be murdered. Nobody deserves to be murdered, especially by his father.
Yeah.
Maggie.
That one, like, I can't come at in respect to it because, okay, let's say his motive is the fact of the shame of, like, Paul, say, going to jail for, you know, his mistakes.
Yeah.
To me, you can spin that of his mistakes as a young person, right? I actually don't think he would have gotten the full 55 years.
No, he wouldn't have.
I think he would have gotten less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he would have been charged with it. I don't think they could have got away with not charging him with it. I think it would have happened.
Convicting him.
Convicted,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I do think he would have been convicted of it, but I don't think he would have got the full 55 years because he's a Murdaugh. I think that was, if that's the motive for killing him, I find that really hard to swallow. Like, because
legal commentators were saying they thought he would probably get 20 years.
Yeah, that's where my head was sort of going with it.
So you're still going to be released in your very early 40s. You can still live a very lovely, natural,
especially if you get your shit together in that time and use it how it should be used.
That's right.
And actually reform.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Buster Jr.,
Yeah.
there's not a lot around about him. He's definitely gone very, very quiet. However, he is married and
Brooke.
he's got a little young child. He doesn't live in Hampton anymore. He's certainly, even geographically distanced himself from
the
everything
area
that
and
happened.
everything, which I don't blame him.
No, nor do I.
In terms of Paul too, with the motive on Paul, a couple of days or when the deaths became public knowledge kind of thing, the other thing that was happening at that time was a civil suit by the victims, of Mallory's family of the Murdaughs for her death. Now that would have cost them more than they had because of where the financial situation was, where they were. So that would have exposed him as well. So the family, obviously with Paul being dead, out of respect for the family going through a tragedy at that point, and also the fact of it just becoming legally challenging then to move forward with that,
Because then
they
you're
dropped that
essentially-
civil suit.
Yeah, because you essentially then have to sue Paul's estate. And Paul didn't personally have much wealth.
Yeah.
So they, even if they had have pursued it, they wouldn't have gotten much.
No. So they did end up dropping it. It wasn't worth it to them to continue on it, but also look, you've lost a son, we've lost a daughter out of that as well.
Yep.
They did drop it.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe that was more the motive of killing Paul.
Yep.
Which is sickening to think.
I think it's that. I think it's also the shame that is, him going to prison would bring on the family. But haha, look where Alec is now, the fuckwit.
Well, yeah, more shame than ever.
His behaviour from go to woe is shameful.
Yeah.
I'm talking even before, before Mallory's death, before Gloria's death.
Yeah. You see them on that footage, particularly I find, of the hospital of the day of the boat accident, the night of. And you watch him walking around that hospital.
Shuffling in his slippers.
Ugh.
And his dressing gown. He couldn't even be fucking bothered getting dressed. Sorry.
It does really repulse me of his attitude, this arrogance, total arrogance of I own this place.
Yep, I'm gonna tell everyone what to say.
Yeah, walking into people's, hospital rooms, telling them what to do and what to say. It's just disgusting. How repulsive.
The hubris. It's repulsive behaviour.
Yeah. Instead of asking people, it was documented how he walked into rooms and he never asked any of them, "Are you okay? How are you?" It was, "Have you spoken to police yet?" They were the first questions he asked.
You've got to tell them that Connor was driving.
Connor was driving. It was not, "I'm coming in to check on you because my son was, involved in this and oh my God, are you okay?"
As almost any other parent would do.
Oh God, I can't even imagine being that parent of the child who was driving that boat.
Yeah.
Look, people make mistakes in their life.
Yeah.
And you'd hope that, people could forgive mistakes and but that would be, as a parent, that would be your role of mate, you need to get your shit together. You have to cop this. This is, that's that is not the parenting that he had. That was not what he did.
It was a family of cover-up. It was just the way the family handled things right from, Buster Senior and down.
Yeah.
It was a culture within their family and
There
no one
was-
ever took responsibility like they should have.
Well, there were families within the Hampton community who would tell their children, don't spend time with the Murdaughs because they knew they were above the law and they didn't want their kids involved in that stuff.
Yes, good advice.
Yeah, whereas
very good advice.
Those families that did spend time with their kids were spending time with Buster and with Paul. The comments from those families in interviews have been that they warned their children, you will never, don't get mixed with things because they won't get into trouble. You will.
They're right.
I mean, this is the thing that was so widely spread in Hampton County of the power and control this family had for themselves. But you'd be collateral damage in anything else.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
they
involved
would
in.
throw you under the bus to save themselves without even thinking about it.
And as one lawyer said, if it was back in the day of Buster Senior, it wouldn't be collateral damage of law things coming down on you. You'd just be dead. You'd just be swimming with the fishes.
Jesus Christ.
And I wonder how much of that actually still continued through this family. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know. Wow. Please let us know what you think. I can't imagine there's anyone out there who thinks that Alec isn't responsible.
Oh, yeah, I reckon there'll be a few. I reckon there'll be a few people out there who can swing this. I don't know.
Yeah. Alec himself.
Yeah, yeah. Fellow narcissist. Who go, if he can do it, I can do it too.
I've got this. Thanks for joining us again for another episode, everyone. We really appreciate everyone joining us. Please don't forget to share our podcast with someone. That's what we would love you guys to do this week if you can. It would be very, very helpful. Someone who you think might like listening to us. Keep your case suggestions coming in as well. We're sort of up to the point where we're going to start planning our next block of recordings.
Yes,
so please let us know what you want to hear, and we will be more than happy to go down that path.
Yep.
You can also join us over on Patreon. You get a bonus episode every month. That's at patreon.com/2crimebesties.
Excellent. Love it. Love your work once again, Emma. Thank you.
Meg. Awesome.
Stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.